Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial. Sorry for my voice, that's because I've been sick. So I'm gonna show you on how to make this Queen Annie neckline. First thing I'm gonna do is to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 14. 14 divided by 2 is gonna give me 7. I'll slant it down by 1 inch. Move now to the armhole depth. If you don't know how to get the armhole depth, divide the round bust by 6, then you add 1.5 inch. I'll mark the neck depth and the neck width of 3 by 3 inch. Once I'm done doing so, I'll go ahead to connect it up, and I'll connect my shoulder slants, I'll connect my armhole depth, and I'll connect these lines up like this. I'll measure up whatever I have here and divide it by 2. I'll go in by ½ inch. You can do ½ inch, you can do 3/4 inch. On the chest line, I'm going to put 1/4 of my round bust, which is 34 divided by 4. It's going to give me 8.5. I'll mark and I'm going to connect those points up. Once I'm done doing so, I'll mark from the shoulder to the bust point, from the shoulder to the under bust, from the shoulder to the line of the top, and I will connect it up with straight line, just like you can see me doing right there. I will take my nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 7.5 divided by 2 is gonna give me 3.075. I'll mark that up, but at the hem I'm going to mark 3.025. On the underbust I'll mark 3.025, and then at this top part I'm going to mark now 3.075. I hope that part is clear. If you take a look at the line, you notice that it's not straight. The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead now to go up. You can choose to go up by 2 inch, you can choose to go up by 1 inch, you can choose to go up by 3 inches. So I'm going to come here at the center front, I'll mark ½ inch. At the side front, I'm going to mark 1 inch. You can mark 1.5 inch, okay, depending on your dart intake. So how to know the dart intake you'll be needing is to take the round bust minus your under bust. Whatever you have, the final answer you have, you're going to divide it into 6. After which you've divided it into 6, the final answer, that is what you're going to be marking for your dart intake. From the bust point line, I went down by 3/4 inch. If you're that bossy, you go down by 1.5 inch. For a smaller size, you can go down by 3/4 or 1 inch is good to go. I'll come here at the top part. I'm going to mark 1 inch and I'm going to do ½ inch, just the same like I did for the downer part of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and connect it up like you have seen me doing. Depending on how deep you want the neckline for the front to be, you can choose to connect it on the bust point line. You can even choose to go down. It's up to you. I'll come to the shoulder. You can choose to go in by 1 inch. You can choose to do ½ inch. I'll just do a ½ inch. I'm going to go ahead and connect it up. You can connect it in a form of a straight. If you're connecting it straight, you can do it in a form of a curvy part, just like this. You can choose to connect it from that ½ inch that I went in, but I choose to connect it all the way to the neckline, like I just said. I'm going to put 1/4 of my round waist. The round waist I'm working with is 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7. I'll replace back the that allowance and borrow. I'll come to the under bust. I'm going to put 1/4 of the under bust, which is 30 divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5. I'll replace back the that allowance. Then I'm going to go up from the bust point line or come down from the armhole depth by 1 inch, connect it up like you can see me doing. After which you've done that, flip up your curve to blend it over. Then I'll put 1/4 of the round bust, then measure up whatever I have here and replace that back, okay, replace it back. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it up just like you can see me doing right here. So we have something like this. Then I'll number them up. I'm going to come now and bring my paper towards me. I'm going to be drafting up the back. The back is quite very simple. The difference is just the neck depth of the back, okay? So I'm going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2 and mark it up, which is 7. Slant it down by 1 inch. Move now to the armhole depth. Remember, if you don't know how to get the armhole depth, divide your round bust by 6, then you add 1.5 inch. For the neck depth is 1.5 inch. For the neck width is 3 inch, like we did for the front. Once I'm done doing so, I'll just go ahead and connect those points up, measure up whatever I have, divide it. I always like to go in by 0 to 5, okay, instead of just connecting it from the center outward. But I always go in by 0 to 5. You can see that little curve right there. I'm going to measure now from the shoulder to the waist of it. I'm just gonna mark, where it ends, I'll mark that, and I'm connecting it up with a straight line. I'll put the nipple to nipple. Here we're just putting the nipple to nipple divided by 2. All right, now I'll go ahead now to mark my dart of 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch both sides. I realized that this other part is not really same like the other one, so I went ahead to reconnect that up. I'll be putting 1/4 of the waist. I'll replace back the dart allowance, come on the chest line, put 1/4 of the round bust. So for the neck depth, you can choose to design it up. For the back, you can choose to design it. What I did was to come down by 1 inch, then connect it up to meet up my dart. You can see the way I place it up my curve, right? I'm going to measure up whatever I have from this point. This is my zipper allowance I'm adding, okay? Now, after doing so, I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch just to eliminate the zipper bush at the back, level them up. All right, we're going to go ahead now to cut that up. So when I'm done cutting it up, I have to place the pieces together to make sure everything matches up before I go ahead and cut that up. I've just cut the front of it and making sure I curve everything up and make sure they are looking good before I can go ahead and move now to the other piece. After cutting all the pieces, here is how everything is looking like. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you some other time in my next tutorial.